Hi, and welcome to our Facebook Friday. Today is Friday afternoon, obviously, and it is also the last day of free shipping. And so with that, any order that you place before midnight tonight, Mountain Time, you can get free shipping on any orders of $75 or more, which is a really nice bonus because that's basically going to save you 11% off of your order. And then whenever you combine with that, the 10% rewards that you get, that is over a 20% savings, which is super nice. Today, we are going to be making 4 cards with the Hugs and Healing stamp set. This set is so cute. It has dogs and cats, and it has sending healing hugs to you. You're not alone. Hope you feel better soon. And this is probably my favorite. I'm sorry you're feeling rough. Anyway, I just thought this was super cute. And so I thought we would make some cards with this today. Combining this with the paper that's probably one of my favorites is the Mixed Media Florals. And if you're wanting to get some of this paper, it's actually on low inventory right now, but it's 164638 is the SKU number, but it is just super fun. It has lots of beautiful floral patterns in it. We're not going to be using any of the floral patterns today. We're going to use some of the geometric shapes, which are just wonderful background papers. So anyway, with that, we will get started. Anything that you see me put together today, if you place an order of $35 or more with me, you can use this QR code to shop with me, or you can look me up whenever you're placing your next order. But any order of $35 or more will get you this card kit for free. Also, between now and the end of August, I am running a sizzling summer special where any order of $50 or more, I will send you an embellishment. And once I see your order come through, I will contact you to see which one you want. If your order is $75, you will get a ribbon and an embellishment. And if your order is $100, I will send you a stamp set. So that is a way for me to try and boost my sales. I am trying to earn my first ever incentive trip, which is kind of exciting to be this close. I've never had that before. So if you want to place an order, that will certainly help me get closer. And like I said, you can use this QR code. If you want to get on my email mailing list, you can go to inkycreationsbylinda.com and join my email list, and then you will see all of the different specials and the ordering items that we have and any specials that Stampin' Up! Runs as well. So let's go ahead and get started. We are going to be doing quite a few, what am I trying to say? We are going to be using the blends quite a bit today. So we will get to be doing some coloring, which is always fun. But anyway, I love our blends. I think they're just fantastic. And so with that, we will go ahead and get started. So our first card has a card base that is 4 4¼ by 5½. Let me double check, make sure. Yes, that is correct. All of a sudden I was drawing a blank. So what we are going to do is you will have this in your card kit, and then you will have another piece, and this is strawberry slush, and then you will have another piece of strawberry slush that is, let me give you the dimensions of this. It is 11 inches by 3¼ and it is just folded in half at 5½. And so we are going to take this and adhere this to this card base. Let me make sure I'm not missing a step, but I don't think I am. Nope, that's correct. Okay, so we're going to just use our multi-purpose glue and put that down. And so you will just kind of center this in the middle. It should leave you about a 1/2 inch on either side, and the top and the bottom will be even. And so we are just going to put that down like that. Okay. On the, you can also just make sure it's good and stuck. So on the inside, I tell you what, we'll do that after we do the front. You will have a piece of designer series paper in the black and white flowers, and we are going to adhere this to the top of our card. So let's grab some adhesive and put some glue on there. And just stick that on here and try to center it. This is why I like the multi-purpose glue, because it gives me a couple of extra seconds to move things around in case I don't get it where I want it right at first. All right, and so then you will have this cute little tag. This comes from the paper tags dies, and this stamp set is adorable, and I'm probably going to be doing a Facebook Live with this here in the next few weeks because I just love the fonts in this. I just think it's really fun. But today we're going to use one of the dies. The dies are great too. I can show you those if they don't all fall out on me. But it contains about 8 dies, but it has these 2 different tags, and the one that I'm using is this one, and so it's really cute. And honestly, this particular pattern almost reminds me of like a dog bone. So anyway, I just thought it was cute. So we are probably going to be using that here in the next couple weeks, but that's where I got the die from to make this tag. So we are going to stamp a cat on here in black. And is this not just super cute? It's a cat with his little paw in a sling. So we're going to go ahead and stamp that, and then we will get to do some coloring. If you have not experimented with our blends, you are missing out. They are probably one of the cutest, I shouldn't say cutest, they are just fantastic. I have a really good friend that her dad was just an amazing artist, but even she was like, oh my gosh, these blends are amazing. And I'm going to tell you, I am not a good coloring type person. Like, I just don't color well, but these make it super easy to do that. So one trick that I learned a long time ago, whoops, I want to use the blunt end and not the feather tip, is I try to color the lines that Stampin' Up! Already has, and I usually use my darker blend to do that, and then I'll go back and just color all the rest of it in with the lighter shade. So let's go ahead and just kind of grab some of those lines, and then we'll fill in the rest of it. Okay, so I'm going to use Smoky Slate for the cat. Pretty sure that's what this is. Yes, that's correct. And then we'll go ahead and color him in real quick. I feel like I'm going to go outside of the lines. And if you do, it's really not a big deal. But, you know, most of us don't want to do it intentionally. So that's always the goal, is not to do that. Trying to get around his nose because I really don't want to make his nose gray. And one of the things that's nice about the blends too is, you know, even if you don't want to change colors, but you want to make it a little bit darker, all you have to do is go back over it with the light color again, and it will give you a little bit of shading, so to speak. So even for somebody who does not color well, these still look amazing by the time you get finished. Get his little arm. And then we're going to color the sling. Lemon Lolly is what we're going to use for the sling on this. So let's just kind of, I probably should have done a little bit of shading over here on the side, so I may come back and throw some extra color in there with the dark highlight. One of the things that's nice too is on the blends, whenever you order them, I believe they are $11 in the US. You get 2 blends. You get one that is the lighter shade and one that is the darker shade. And they're just a lot of fun to work with. So like, I'm just gonna use this same marker and just kind of do a little bit of extra coloring right there just to make it a little bit darker. All right, and then I am going to use my Lemon Lolly and do, let me get the darker one first. Here we go. And I'm going to just kind of do the lines like we did before on the other one. And then I'll fill it in with the light color. Move these so that you're not getting bombarded with all these. I feel like I have blends all over the place today, which is unusual. Usually if I use some, it's just a couple, but today I'm using a lot. Okay, let's see. These are alcohol based, and you can smell the alcohol. So if you're somebody that likes that, you'll enjoy using the blends. Ha. So, okie doke. So now that we have our cat colored in, isn't he cute? Hi, Anna. I just think these blends are fantastic. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take some of our strawberry slush ribbon, and I am just going to cut a piece of it, and I'm going to make it a little bit long just because I don't want it to be too short. And then we're just going to thread this through, and this already is kind of open, so you just have to be careful not to make it like slip through there. And then we're just going to take it and go like this, and then literally just tie a knot. So you don't even have to make a bow with this one. You can just tie a knot. Whoops. See, this is why you don't want to make it too short, because then it's a little more challenging to get through the loop. But I think we can make this work. Might have to just squeeze it in there though. There we go. It's not too bad. All right, there's my other side. Okay, and then whenever you pull it, you want to make sure you're not pulling the paper, because you don't want it to do that. So what I did is I kind of held it right here whenever I was working on my samples the other night, and then just do that, and then that way it pulls it, but it doesn't pull through on the paper. Okay, so then we'll have that. So then we will put this on our card front, and we're going to use dimensionals on this to pop it up just a little bit. So let me grab some of those. So see, it didn't take too terribly long to color that, and hopefully the others will go quickly as well, so that you're not watching me color for the next 2 hours. Actually, it didn't even take me 2 hours to do this the first time, so it shouldn't take me 2 hours to do it now. But I know it's going to be longer than what our normal cards are. So, all right. So then I'm just going to kind of put this at an angle, and then I'm going to pull it down just a little. There we go. I think that cat is so cute. And then you will have a little die cut circle here, which we're going to stamp on this. Hope you feel better soon. And I really like the fonts on this set. I just think they're super cute. And they kind of remind me of, like, you know, little kid oriented stuff. And so the nice thing with that is if something isn't completely straight, you can just tell people that you were trying to get it to look like a little kid did it. So, all right. So then we're going to also pop this up on dimensionals, but I'm only going to put dimensionals on this side and just put a glue dot over there. So let's grab our smaller dimensionals and just put one on this side. And then we will get a glue dot. And I meant to grab some more glue dots. I'll bet we end up running out before this is all over. I just have a feeling that may happen. All right, and I'm just going to put this about right here, okay? And then we are going to use our Strawberry Slush and Pretty in Pink gems. These are so cute, and I love the colors. They just go really well with what we're doing today. So I'm going to take a few of these and put them on here. So I'm going to take a big one and put it up here. And then we'll do a medium pink and kind of put it over here. And then we'll do another small one and put it maybe down here. Okay. So then let's do the inside of our card, which I used the punch from the Bee Builder punch, and that's what I used to make this pink circle out of the Strawberry Slush. So before I adhere this to my card on the inside, I want to go ahead and stamp it, because I just know that there are times that I don't like the way it stamps the first time, and so I'll flip the cardstock over. So let's do that, and we're going to stamp Sending Healing Hugs to You. There you go. So let's, and then there should, yep, there's room. And so let's go ahead and glue this down to the inside of our card. I hope you guys have had a great week. It has been another hot week here, which it's the time of year we're in, so I don't see that subsiding any for probably another 6 or 8 weeks for sure. So it's just part of living where I live. Hopefully your weather isn't killing you. And the good thing is we don't have any hurricanes going on yet, so that's always nice. So I'm just going to kind of, this heart in this particular punch is a little bit lopsided, and so if it's, you know, that's the nice thing, it kind of goes along with this font in that it looks like it's a little kid. So this is card number 1. Oh, you know what, I'm going to trim this a little bit just because it looks kind of long. So we'll go there, and then let's do this side and cut it a little bit there. Whoops, there we go. So here is card number 1. How fun. Wouldn't you like to get this in the mail if you weren't feeling well? I think that would be super fun. So there you go. There's our first card. All right. So our second card is probably one of my favorites. I do need to clean this stamp because I'm going to be using it again with a different ink pad, and I don't want to mix that. But so we'll just go ahead and clean all of these because that way I don't have to do it a little later. But our next one is a dog card, which is really fun. What is your favorite? Are you a dog or a cat person, or do you like them all? I really like dogs quite a bit. My son up in St. Louis has a dog that is a big dog, and he is a ton of fun. But I kind of grew up with medium-sized dogs. I wouldn't say they were big. And really wasn't around a lot of big dogs until we had kids. And then we had a big dog that was a half Siberian Husky and half German Shepherd. And she was fantastic. I just loved her. Such a sweetheart. All right, so this card is almost like a gatefold. And then we're going to have a flap that goes over it like this. And obviously it'll make a little more sense once it's all put together. But for right now, the measurements for this are 10.5 by 4 1/4. And then it's scored 2.5 inches from each side. Okay, so that's our basic measurements for this card. So to get started, you will have these pieces of cardstock and the labels and everything already in your kit for you. But you'll have 2 pieces of DSP and 2 of the red, the real red. And so we're going to adhere these together and then put them on the front of our card. So let's do that first. I really like this black and white pattern. I just think it's kind of fun. And I always like black, white, and red together. All right, and then I'm going to glue this onto, whoops. Let's see, let's just put this one, get this where you can see it on the top, and just try to center it. There we go. And then we will do the same thing with this one. All right, and then we'll glue that on the bottom part of the front of the card. Whoops, I almost threw that on myself. That would not have been good. All right, there we go. All right, so then what we want to do, I tell you what, we can go ahead and stamp the inside and put that down. You will have this die cut circle. And so on that, we're going to stamp the Hope You Feel Better Soon. And we're going to do that in real red. Move that over. Here we go. The nice thing about stamping on circles is you don't have to worry about getting it straight. You just want to try and get it in the middle. Because you can always turn it, which is nice. All right, so before I adhere this down, here's another super cute thing about this set. It has these little paw prints, and you could use these for either a cat or a dog. So in this case, we're going to use it for a dog, and we're going to stamp this on the inside of the card, kind of along the little outside edge of Hope You Feel Better. Hey, Marianne. So let's make sure that's inked up good. So we will put one right here. We'll do another one. We'll kind of make a little trail with them. There we go. So then, and I did get a little bit of a halo on there, which makes me mad at myself. But if you didn't like it, you could always flip over the cardstock and do it again. But we're just going to leave it the way it is and make it work. Whoops. All right, so you're just going to put this on the inside and just center it. And then we are going to glue this flat because it's on the inside. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on the inside of here. Or on the back of here, I should say. And then kind of place this to where... I just saw your comment, Marianne. That's funny. Yeah, I know. I have to say that for everything I do, huh? So that is the inside of our card. So now we get to decorate the outside, which is really fun. So you will have this piece of cardstock, and we are going to use this super cute little puppy who has a thermometer in his mouth and a ice bag on his head, which is really funny. So I'm going to use, move that out of the way. I'm going to use our Memento Black so that we can stamp this guy. Let me move this so I don't wind up with stuff all over the place. It's so funny because I never use this many blends in a Facebook Live. And so my whole table is just lined up with them. Let's see. So we're going to put this, and I'm going to put this kind of a little bit toward the bottom because I want to leave room at the top for our sentiment to go. So for that reason, I'm leaving a little bit of room. Okay. So now we get to use our blends in color. So we are going to use Smoky Slate for our puppy or our dog, whichever you would like to refer to him as. I'm assuming it's a guy because, you know, women don't sit around with a thermometer in their mouth. They just get up and do whatever needs to be done. But anyway, that's probably not always true, but sometimes it is. So I'm just going to kind of highlight some of these areas where the artist has already given us what needs to happen. And then we'll put I'm going to color the rest of it with the lighter shade. And see if I can do this without giving him a black eye. I always have this fear of, you know, just going crazy with the colors and then realizing that I just colored his eyes black. Okie doke, let's see. There we go. What else? Oh, let's do his chest. Oh, and then we need to do his paws and his tail. So let's see. I think this stamp set is so cute. I just love the animals in it. They're just really fun. And again, you know, if you want to make it darker, you can just go over it again, which is really nice. And I should have colored some of this with the darker, so I might go back over it real quick and do that just to give it a little bit of shading and variation, and just maybe do a little bit on his tail over here. And then we'll go back with the light and just grab those other places that we didn't do. That way we get a little bit of highlighting and shading, so it doesn't look like we just drew him on the page. There we go. All right, so there is our little puppy. Now we're going to make the edge of his blanket. If I can find the blend, I don't see it. Here it is. We're going to make the edge of his blanket red, which is always fun. And I'm going to use the dark real red because that's just really fun. And we're also going to do his collar that same color. I did not do any shading on this. I just simply colored it the way it was. You could, if you wanted to. I feel like it's already kind of a thin border, and so I didn't try to make it more than what it was. Okay, and then let's grab the edges over here. Super fun. And the other thing that I did forget to do, let me go back and do that, is I'm going to use the dark smoky slate, and I'm just going to go along the lines of the blanket just to kind of give it a little bit more definition. You know, you don't have to do that, but I just thought it'd be kind of cute. There we go. Let's do the other side. Super fun. All right, and then we're going to make the ice bag on his head. We are going to use Daffodil Delight for that. Whoops, that's not Daffodil Delight. Let me find it. Is this it? I have too many colors sitting over here, and all these yellows kind of look alike after a while. So let's grab our darker one. Yeah, this is it. And just do the highlighting real quick, and then this will fill in pretty easy. There we go. And then for his nose, of course, we want to give it a pink color. So I am actually going to use Petal Pink on that just because I don't want it to be super dark. So let me grab, I am going to use the dark Petal Pink, but Petal Pink is pretty light. And so we'll just do that just to kind of give it a little tinge, and then we'll color his metal on his chest the same color. So there we go. So there's our little puppy. Isn't that fun? So much fun. All right, so now we're going to glue him onto this real red cardstock that you will have. And this this white die cut piece right here is from the Textured Notes. So if you, these are great rectangular dies if you are looking for a good set that's just a basic set. I use this one quite a bit, and it's really, really nice. So now for our tag, we're going to write "Sending Healing Hugs to You," and we're going to stamp that in real red. And I'm going to stamp it kind of toward the right-hand side so that I can put some more of those paw prints on the left. There we go. And then we will use our little paw prints and put them kind of over here on the left-hand side because they're just super cute. And try not to press down too hard. There we go. And so now what we're going to do is we are going to just adhere this down here, and then we'll put our sentiment up there. So I just want to put glue on the top part so that I don't glue the thing together. I've done that before. If you're ever looking for somebody to show you what not to do, I can definitely do that. All right. Okay, and then I'm going to use dimensionals to pop this up. So let me grab some of our larger dimensionals because I don't need a lot. I'm just going to use a couple and put those up. And so we are just going to put this at the top of our thing. And then I'm going to use, again, our Strawberry Slush and Pretty and Pink gems. And let's put a couple of these on here. I just think this dog just makes me smile. He's just so adorable. So much fun. And then let's put another small one up here, just to kind of give us our magic 3 number. But isn't that fun? How cute is that? And then you open it up and it says, hope you feel better soon. And it's just a fun card to send to someone. I did not put any type of bow on this, but you could obviously add linen thread or anything like that you want. And so that's another way to do that. All right, so let's move to our third card. This one is super sweet. It is one that I think would be, I don't know, just, it kind of reminds me of just, it's just sweet. I don't even know of another way to describe it. So you're going to have a couple of little hearts in your packet. So we are using a crumb, whoops, I'm throwing things everywhere. We are going to use a crumb cake base, and then you'll have the designer series paper and some white cardstock, and then this is for the inside. Before we put this down, I want to wrap some linen thread around this. So I am looking for my linen thread. I know I had it here. Oh, here it is, right in front of me. So let me grab that and throw some of that on here. So to do that, I am going to just, see how pretty this paper is, even on the back. I love this paper. It's one of my favorite sets. Of course, I say that about everything we do, because every time I look at it, I'm like, oh, that's so pretty. So I am going to just wrap this linen thread back here. And I just want to kind of grab it, and then I'll use the double-sided tape or tear-in tape to give it some extra support so it doesn't come off. So let me just cut this. There we go. Whoops. Kind of go here. And then I'm going to use, I don't know where I saw this trick, but I love this because I always worry about things coming apart. So you just take your tear-in tape and you put it on top of the edges of your either ribbon or linen thread, whatever you have on your card, so that you can make sure that it doesn't come apart on you, which is kind of nice. So we're going to do that. And then Whoops, I can't get this to go back in my thing. There we go. So now, and then you just kind of want to play with it and make sure it's where you want it to be. And then we are going to take this and adhere it to the white piece of cardstock that's on the front part. So let me grab some glue and put on here. You could also take the other side of the tear and tape off if you want. I'm not doing that just for time's sake, but if I was probably not doing a video, I probably would. So there's not a right or wrong way. It's whatever you want to do. So then we are now going to glue this to the front of our card base. So we're going to put it right here. So let's do that. Here we go. All right. So now you will have this die cut circle. And so one of the things that you'll want to do is have a piece of paper to have next to you so you can stamp off on that. So let me grab one because I forgot to do that before I started. Here we go. Here's a scrap piece that's just sitting over there. So what I want to do is just kind of set this to where I can stamp off to the side and it won't go on my glass mat is all I'm trying to do. So let's kind of put it like this. And we are going to use this stamp that has the dog and the cat together. Is that not just too cute? And we are going to use, again, Memento black ink and stamp that. Helps if I don't put him upside down. And then I'm just going to put him to where he goes mostly on the circle, but obviously he doesn't all fit, okay? So then you have it to where it's like that. And then let me just move this off so I don't stick my finger in it. And then we are going to color our little dog and cat. So we are going to use on him, tell you what, let's use for the dog, I'm going to use crumb cake. And then we will use, I think that's a little dark. I'm going to use the Smoky Slate. Is that what I'm using again on this? I think so. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so we're going to use crumb cake on the dog, and then we'll use Smoky Slate on the cat. And we're going to do the same thing on the next one too. You'll see where we have another one that's like that. So again, you just want to use the lines that we already have and just kind of color those in a little bit just to give yourself a little bit of highlight. And we'll hit his paws. And then, actually that may have been the cat's paws, so we may have just contributed to that, but that's okay. They'll look like they're related now. So we'll try to just get the dog's face and not the cat's too, because we do want to make the cat a little bit different color so that it looks like we have two separate animals here. I think my glass mat is off balance. I must have something underneath it that I didn't realize because it keeps shifting on me. There we go. So we will color his paw. All right, and then I'm going to, yeah, it's a super cute set, Marianne. You would really like it as much as you like animals. All right, so then now for the cat, you know, I don't really, yeah, we'll do it that way. So we're going to color the cat, but I'm only going to use the light smoky slate on the cat. I really don't want to use the dark because it's just a little bit too dark. I think I used the dark earlier and whenever I was working on these, and I don't know, I feel like it's too dark. So we're just going to use the light, and we'll just go back over the areas that we want it to be a little bit darker. There we go. All right, so then now we're going to give this dog and cat a really cute pink blanket. So I am going to use Pretty in Pink, and then we'll use Light Misty Moonlight for the edges of the blanket. So let's use the darker one to do kind of the highlighting, and then we'll color it in with the light. And obviously you can color this with any color that you would like. These were just colors that I kind of picked whenever I was playing around with this the other day. Okay, so there is that, and then we will do the trim in Misty Moonlight just to give it a little bit of blue, and we'll go back and get the dog's nose. I think I kind of colored the cat's nose gray, but we can always put a little bit of pink there just to kind of give it a hint of that. And I'm going, whoops, if I can get this shut, I am going to use the light Pretty in Pink just to kind of try and get it to, there we go. How cute, just super fun. Okay, so now that we have that all colored in, we are going to put this together. So that part will go a little quicker. All right, so I'm going to use dimensionals and put my circle on here. So let's just grab a few of those. And we will, whoops, put this on here like this. And I kind of put it over to the right a little bit because I'm going to put a bow over here. And then you will have this die cut label, and we are going to stamp Sending Healing Hugs. So let me clean this because it still has red ink on it from our last card. There we go. So, and we are going to stamp this. There we go. Starting to sound like Greg. And then that's where these little yellow hearts will come in. So what we're going to do now is we're going to put this right here. So I'm going to put one dimensional up here in the corner and then just 2 glue dots down here so that it will be kind of balanced. So let's do that. And then we will grab a glue dot. We'll just put one for right now. I'll go back and put another one later. That way you don't have to watch me figure out how to get the glue dot off, which is always, whoops, kind of fun. There we go. And then you will have these two little die cut hearts. So we're going to put a glue dot on one of these and put it on this side of our tag. And again, these little hearts I just cut out from the Bee Builder punch, which is super fun. And then on the inside, that's what this piece is for. We are going to stamp, "Hope you feel better soon." So let's grab that. Where's it at? Here it is. Let me clean this off. Whoops. Trying not to mix my red and black inks. For some reason, it seems like I keep going back and forth. I probably should have sat down and thought about which card to do when, so that I wouldn't have to switch ink pads. But and I just saw your comment. Yeah, it's just, you know, I didn't buy it. Whoops, that's a little bit crooked. Let's flip it over. This is why God gives us two sides to cardstock. And that's something I heard from somebody else. It's not original. There we go. That's a little better. I think Sharon Armstrong said that. I thought that was hilarious the first time I heard it. All right, so we're going to adhere this to the inside of our card. I think I'm starting to get low on my glue, but we should be okay to finish this. We don't have much more to go. We're just going to do one more card, and it's very sweet too. I just think all of these cards are so fun. And then you have a second punched out piece of Pretty in Pink, and we will use a glue dot and just adhere this right here. And then this is, oh, we forgot our embellishments. We never want to forget those because they are too much fun to leave off. So let's put, we'll put one up here. How about if we do another one kind of over here? And then we'll do one more, and we'll do the brighter and stick it about right there. There we go. So this is card number 3. How fun. I just think that's so sweet. It's a cute set. All right, so then our final card is going to be, this one's, I don't know, to me this one's a little more boyish just because it uses browns in it, and I always think of, you know, puppy dogs and little boys whenever they're in browns for some reason. So, but I really like the inside of this card. It's probably my favorite on the inside. So, all right, so you will have a piece of Petal Pink cardstock. The base is Early Espresso. And then this is going to be for the inside of our card. And so we are going to adhere our, you will have a piece of white embossed paper, and this is with the exposed brick embossing folder, and we're going to adhere this to the Petal Pink and then put it on the front of this. So this is pretty basic, so let's just glue all of that down really quick. we were talking last night about embossing folders, and I really like the exposed brick, especially whenever I think about Christmas cards, because I think about Santa by the fireplace. And so I think having that, I was really glad they hadn't retired it yet. Okay, I'm getting ready to have to grab another glue because I think this one's about had it. Or I'm just going to flip over to Stampin' Seal. I may do that too. So we're just going to put this in the center. There we go. All right, and then you will have a die cut circle out of this DSP that I think is super cute. And this has your petal pink color in it. So I am just going to use some Stampin' Seal and put that on here. And then we are just going to adhere this. Now, one thing I did try to do is make my lines go up. And I don't know why that really matters, but it did to me. And so we'll do that. And since this set does not have dies with it, I went ahead of time and I stamped and fussy cut out the little dog and cat. So that way you wouldn't have to watch me do that. So we're just going to color this really quick. So I'm going to use Petal Pink. And this time I'm going to use, for the blanket, and I'm going to use Shy Shamrock for the trim. And then for the dog and cat, I'm going to do what we did last time, which was the crumb cake and the light smoky slate. So let's do that. So this is our smoky slate. So let's do our kitty cat first. I like the crumb cake for the dog, especially with the early espresso as our card base. It's just really kind of goes together. All right, so there's our cat. And then for the dog, we will do him. Kind of hit some of the highlights. Do you guys have any big plans this weekend? I'm just excited that it's the weekend. That's always nice. There we go. All right, let's grab his ear. There we go. I kind of left his nose open because I thought I would use the dark petal pink and just kind of color their noses to where, you know, they had a little bit of color, but they're not like Rudolph looking, which is always fun. Okay, and then I'm going to color the blanket petal pink on this one. So just to kind of make it different than the last one that we did. And so I'm just going to go over the lines with the dark petal pink, and then I'll go back and color in between with the light. The nice thing is this is such a light color that it really just kind of almost blends in. Whoops. Trying not to make it go flying on the floor. All right. And then this time, just for fun, I actually did this on my sample, and I was really excited. I was really excited about the way it looked. I thought it was really cute, and I don't think I would have ever put these colors together originally. Marianne, I just saw your comment. How fun. I'm sure he kept you going, though. All right, so there we go. So there's his little blanket. So now all we have left is we're going to, I'm going to use dimensionals and put him on here just to pop him up just a little bit. So we'll grab a couple of dimensionals. And just kind of put him down here. So sweet. And then we are going to stamp. And I just have a scratch piece of paper. So obviously, because this is just a small little thing that says, "You are not alone." So we are going to stamp that. I thought that was a sweet sentiment for the cat and the dog being together. There we go. And then I'm going to trim around this with my scissors really quick. So let me grab those. Whoops. Now I have two pair out. That's okay. So we'll kind of trim this just a little. And we'll do this one. There we go. And now I'm just going to use a dimensional to put this kind of over on the left and then put a glue dot on the right. And that way it's not lopsided, hopefully. Shouldn't be. And then let's grab our small dimensionals. Here they are. I was like, where did I put them? I just saw them. There we go. There's one there. We'll do one more. And then that way, and then we'll tie a bow with our linen thread. And then we'll do the inside, which will not take very long at all. And then I can show you all four of these if you missed some of them. I think this is a really fun set. I think it's a cute set. When I was working on it, I thought, you know, I think I'm going to make some of these up and just have them for get well cards, because most of my friends love animals and it'd be nice to have that to send to people. So, and both of my boys love dogs, so, you know, that's a card I can send to them and they won't be like, "Mom, send me another card." So, maybe they'll keep those. You never know, right? Just cut that off. All right, so I'm just going to grab a glue dot and kind of put this on the side. And then let's grab, this time we're going to use some of the clear dimensionals that are on here. I haven't really used any of those yet, but I think they're really cute. And they almost have like a little glitter in them. I'm not sure if you can see it, but whenever you put them on the card, you can kind of see it just a little bit. But I think it kind of brings out that petal pink and brownish color, which is kind of fun. And we'll stick another one, how about right over here? I like that. So, All right, so that's the front. So let's do the inside really quick. This will go pretty fast, but I think this is really cute. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our designer series paper and we're going to actually glue it about right there. I'm not going to glue it yet because I don't want to mess up and not be able to flip the paper over. So we are going to use crumb cake ink and we're going to write, I'm sorry you're feeling rough, like a dog's rough. How fun. So let's see if I can stamp this straight. That's always the challenge. And we're just going to kind of put it up here. There we go. And now we are going to use the little paw prints one more time because they are just so adorable. And we will finish this off with those and then glue everything together. And we will have our card set for today. So there we go. But I just think this is super fun. It's always fun whenever we do fun cards. I love the beautiful cards, and it's nice to be able to make those, and they are really, really nice. But sometimes it's nice just to do the ones that are super cute too. So, all right. So we are going to just, I don't know if you can see this. We are going to just center this in the middle and adhere that down. And then we will take our designer series paper and throw some Stampin' Seal on this. And then leave a little bit of a border on the left. And try and make the top and bottom even, which is always nice. And then this is the inside of our card. How fun is that? Okay. All right. So let me get all 4 cards so that you can see all of them. But these are the cards that we made today. If you would like this card kit, you can place an order using this QR code, or you can find me on the demonstrator website, or I'm sorry, Stampin' Up's order. Just pick Linda Weber as your demonstrator. And again, you, for an order of $35 or more, you will get these 4 cards. If you have an order of $50, then I will contact you to find out what embellishment you would like, and I will send that with your card kit. And then if your order is $75 or more, if you place that $75 order today, you will also get free shipping, which is wonderful. And then I will contact you to see what ribbon and embellishment you would like. And then if your order is $100, I will contact you to find out what stamp set you would like. So if you would like to get this card kit, you can place an order and get that. And if you would like to join my email list, please go to inkycreationsbylinda.com and you can join my email list. Thank you guys so much for watching and for being here, whether you're watching live or on the replay. And I really appreciate you. So thank you for spending your evening with me. Have a great night and a great weekend. Talk to you soon.